From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Cascade Paint and Supply is Reading's oldest family-owned paint store, established in 1953. We are the largest Dunn Edwards dealer in the nation, and most of our products are made in the U.S. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff are ready to answer your questions and help you today.
Well, happy Monday morning to you. I'm going to show you the fire perimeters, the latest heat signatures that are coming from these fires. But one thing I want you to remember as you're watching this, there's a very good chance that some of this data may have changed. In particular, the heat signatures coming in from the fire. So here's what I want you to do. If you do want to catch the latest on the fire perimeters, the heat signatures coming from those fires, and the distances from the communities, I want you to go to weathernorcal.com and watch the 24-hour streaming channel. Now, it's not on demand. You'll have to kind of wait until it kind of gets around to that part of the loop here. But that's where you're going to find the latest information. You'll also find it on your app, the live channel, Amazon TV, Amazon Fire Stick, Roku as well. So pretty much anywhere that you have access to the internet, you're going to be able to get that live channel. So be sure to check that out for these latest signatures. So there you can see, once again, this is pretty much where we're seeing most of the fires on the northwest side of California. We take a look at all of the fire perimeters that we have in the area, and once again, you can clearly see where those are. So what we're looking at here now are a couple of things. Number one, the fire perimeter that you can see right here. Number two, you see these little orange dots and the yellow dots. What that is those are heat signatures that are being detected by satellite, okay? So when you see the red, that's the most recent activity. This is where we've seen the most recent activity from the fire on the west side of the fire. When you start to see orange and yellow, that's activity that was detected by the satellite about a day or two ago, and then it goes out to as many as 7 days when you start getting into those gray colors. So that's kind of what you're looking at right here. So once again, what happens is we see these heat signatures in particular change on a regular basis. So you need to keep, if you really want to keep a close eye on those, and then of course check out the 24-hour streaming channel. All right, so there you can see some of the distances from the Scott fire. Of course, from the Head fire, some of these long distances to places like Etna, Fort Jones, and not to mention Wairika. We take you out to the U-Fish fire, the Malone fire. You can clearly see the outer perimeter of the U-Fish fire is where we're seeing most of the recent activity, and of course the south side of the Malone fire as well. Both of these fires are approximately 6 to 6.4 miles from Happy Camp. We take you out to the Deep fire, and we haven't seen this fire perimeter change much. We haven't seen much activity coming from that fire either, so that certainly is good to see that it hasn't really moved any closer and really hasn't gotten much larger. Here you can see the Deep fire, of course, distances from Weaverville, Junction City, and Helena. These haven't changed much either, but you can see here out towards Smith River, there you can see this is the Smith River complex that we're looking at here. The closest fire of that complex is approximately 6.3 miles to Smith River, 15.5 miles to Crescent City, and Hyuchi about 10.2 miles. And then we take you out over the kind of the main complex here. You can see this perimeter right here. The closest is Gasky at about 1.6 miles. Now again, the red, you can see this part of the fire, these oranges and yellows indicating about 1 to even 2 days old. So that's not where we're seeing the most recent activity. It's the red, which is the most recent activity. Of course, you can see this part of the fire here is about 6 miles from Hyuchi as well. We take you down to the south where we've got the Perch fire. Boy, a lot of recent activity here that we're seeing here with the fire perimeter about 2.3 miles from Orleans and down to the south. This is the Lone Pine fire. We're getting more and more containment on this fire, less and less of a concern. It seems like over a week, and I have not seen this fire perimeter change size at all for Hoopa or for Willow Creek. Let's take you now down to the south here. We're looking at the Pilot fire. The south end of the fire is where we're seeing the most recent activity with that red, 5.5 miles from High and Palm, 11.5 miles from Mad River, and about 8.8 miles from Dinsmore. Now let's take you up to the north to the Lost fire. There's the perimeter here. We're not even seeing any recent activity, even upwards of 7 days old. So this obviously hasn't grown much over the last several days. About 2.5 from Berry Glen, 4.2 to Oric, and about 4.8 from Johnson's. All right, so we're going to switch gears. We're going to get into the forecast now. And we're going to talk about the fact that we have near normal highs for the next several days with no major heat waves in sight, but it looks like we're finally starting to see some potential for some rain in the forecast. Now, before we get to that, I want to take a look at the smoke forecast that we're seeing here, and as we go into the afternoon on today, around noon, we are seeing some of that smoke making its way into the valley. So we could see some more smoke through the morning hours here and even into the noon hour, but the yellow is indicating kind of that hazy to moderate, so it may be more in the way of haze and it will be kind of that smell of smoke, but I wouldn't be surprised if we did smell a little smoke, especially for the north end of the valley. But again, most of that smoke off to the north and to the west. And then it looks like as we go into Monday night tonight, we are seeing most of that smoke up to the north and west, but again, we're also seeing a little bit of that smoke and haze coming into the valley, and it looks like again it's trying to tomorrow morning making its way back down to the north end of the valley. So we're beginning to see, and we could start to feel more impacts from these fires in the valley in the form of more haze, maybe some more smoke over the next few days. Otherwise, we're looking at sunny skies, another warm day. Some of us could touch 100 degrees today. I don't think it's out of the question, but for the most part, I think we'll be in the upper 90s in the valley. And for the mountains, we've got some haze for Siskiyou and Modoc County. We saw that yesterday, especially to the north of Mount Shasta City. There were points during the day where you could smell some smoke in parts of Mount Shasta City. So I think we could see some more haze, maybe some more smoke again here for today, even as far east as Modoc County. The East Mountains most likely looking at sunny skies with temperatures upper 80s to low 90s for those daytime highs. So here's the deal. We don't expect any rainfall today. We don't expect any rainfall for your Tuesday. In fact, not even much in the way of cloud cover either. We're seeing a few clouds developing here off into the northern mountains here, but otherwise mainly sunny skies. Then we take a look at your long range. Wednesday, Thursday, it's dry, but by Thursday afternoon, we may start to see some shower activity to the north and west. But I'm going to hold off until about Friday when we start to see that potential for rain. And I think everyone in Northern California could see some rain on Friday, including the valley, not to mention, of course, the higher elevations. Now I'm going to take you into Saturday. Now we're still seeing some shower activity out there, possibly even on Sunday as well. And then I think by Monday, it'll all pretty much be gone for the most part, and especially by Tuesday. Now, the timing and intensity of this rain has been kind of a little bit all over the place with the long-range forecast models, to be quite honest. But what I'm seeing at this point is that it's going to be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday could be our best chances for rain. Now, on either side of that, as we go into Thursday, we can see the potential, especially for the coast. And then, of course, as we take you into Monday of next week, maybe a chance for some activity as well. So here's your 10-day trend. Now, this is really what I think you're going to like seeing here, because as we take you through the week, we're talking temperatures mid to upper 90s on average through Thursday. But look at that nice drop in those temperatures as we go into Friday and through the weekend. Highs in the valley are going to be, that's right, low 80s Friday, Saturday, mid 80s as we go into Sunday into next week. So that's absolutely wonderful. I love it. All right, take a look at these highs for today, though. Temperatures in the upper 90s. And again, some of us could touch 100. It's not out of the question. I'm expecting about 96 for Oroville, 96 for Willows. Some hazy, smoky skies, possibly in parts of Siskiyou County, not to mention maybe even Modoc County as well. But as you head to the south, I think more in the way of sunny skies and temperatures upper 80s to low 90s. Looking at your 7-day forecast, and there's, of course, the haze and some smoke here for both Mount Shasta City and El Tourist. I think Susanville more in the way of sunny skies, probably not as much smoke, if any. And then there's some of the clouds moving in by Thursday. Now, I've got the chance for showers for Friday, Saturday, Sunday for all of the mountain locations, including Mount Shasta, El Tourist, and even Susanville. Certainly would be a welcome sight. And we'll have to kind of keep watching that. If you have plans for Friday through the weekend in the mountains, keep a close eye on the forecast, because this most likely will be changing over the next few days as far as the overall timing of it all. Let's take a look at your 7-day outlook for the valley. And I have included some showers for everyone in the valley by Friday, but most likely that won't be the case as we take you into the weekend. But notice these cooler temperatures by Friday. Temperatures low 80s, and we keep it that way going into the weekend.